what we've got here is a very nice, basic, simple logo. And often what limits our design is our ability to draw more complicated things. And that's one of the great advantages of starting to use computer software, because we've got all the tools built into the software we can now play with and see if we can improve that design. So there's various things I can play with. So let's have a look at a couple. One thing is to actually deform the shape. Actually make the shape slightly deformed. And there's two ways of doing that. One is to click on the second selection arrow, which is the direct selection tool. I'm going to click onto the line here, and what I'm going to do is I'm now going to click on these little points. These are the control points which are controlling the line. I'm going to click on that one. I'm going to move that back in 1 centimeter. That's deformed the shape. I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to move that in a little bit further, and this one I'll move that in a little bit more. And that curve isn't quite how I want it to be, so I'm going to move that one a little bit further again, and that one a little bit further again. That's what it kind of does. Same thing on here. Click on the one I want to move, and I can move the individual points and make that more of a curvy line, more of a sort of sloped in shape. Also in the control points I can control the curves. So I'm going to zoom in onto this corner down here. Again, I'm on the selection tool, click on the line, click on the corner, and I can now start controlling curve of that corner. I can bring that corner in. So I might decide I want nice rounded curves on these corners. Again, bring that in. I can do that sort of shape. And if I zoom out, okay, I've done, I only need to catch this one up, and this one, and I've now got a curvy shape. I've missed this one out, but actually I quite like that, not like that. So sometimes you'll accidentally think, oh, that hasn't worked well, but actually, do you know what, I quite like that. But just for completeness, I'm going to curve it. So now I've used the direct select tool to alter the shape, and that does something different than the selection tool. Selection tool is if you just wanted to change the whole size of everything. So that's one thing I can do, and I quite like that. If I didn't like it, of course, we have to edit undo and remove it all back again. So that's one way I can deform the shape, is by actually moving the physical points themselves. The second way I can deform the shape is to use an envelope distort. So what I'm going to do is select the whole shape, and then onto object and envelope distort. And when I get to envelope distort, I want to make with a warp. The warps are built-in shapes. So I'm going to zoom out a touch, so I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to zoom out, so some of these are quite big, so I need to be able to do that to zoom in. So object, envelope distort, make with a warp. So the first one I've got here is bulge. I can affect the amount it bulges. I can make it bulge more or make it bulge less. I can change it to a vertical, so it becomes a vertical bulge. I can go the other way. So I can start deforming the whole shape by different amounts. I can change it in one direction. I can make it asymmetric, do it on more on one side than the other, and do it more on the top than the bottom. Okay. And there are quite a few of these envelope distorts in here. So there's bulge, but there's arc, there is a lower arc, upper arc, so that's leaving the bottom and the top flat. There's an arch, and so on, shell shapes, and so on. I quite like the twist. So the twist, again, I can affect that by more or a bit less, and make it sort of asymmetric on one side than the other. And again, I've now again deformed. I've now got curvy lines and deformed. I might at this point actually argue with my logo. I don't think it anymore look like the initials LD. It looks like an interesting couple of pieces of purple rock. So you have to be careful what you do with something. You do want to still make it look like the initials, but we can distort the shapes we've got to make more interesting shapes out of them.